Hi everyone, CGSeb here. Today I'm gonna comment this time lapse. This is my full process of texturing a scene. I've made this scene with Fluent Materializer, so if you don't have this add-on and you would like to see how it works, I really recommend my other videos where I go in details. This time lapse will be more to see the process that how I'm using this add-on and how I'm approaching a complex scene like that. So first of all, I'm creating the two base color that I want to use in the scene. So this is very basic materials. I don't add details into it. I'm just adding a basic color and placing them on the different objects. So I really recommend to do that. First, you add a material to pretty much everything in your scene, and you will be able to see then the global homogeneity of your image. And as you will see here, I will change a few times the different colors and rearrange them based on the global color of the scene. So the process is actually to go with the big object first and then go in details with the smaller object, and this will facilitate your process. It's always nice to go back to the camera view like I do pretty much here and everywhere, because you will not add details where your camera will not see. So it's actually a cool things to do in 3D that when you are starting 3D, you usually add details everywhere, but you have to think that you will not be able to see some details at the camera view. So sometimes it's nice to just skip some parts that will not show here. So like I said, just added material to pretty much everything. First, I was going with orange and black color. I also went with third, it's not color, but with a white, like light color, like this. And then I went back after that because I wanted to go with a shape of gray. So first, I was adding details to pretty much everything, and then the scene was a little bit too, so I went adding some dark shades. So here I added bright colors like the yellow and blue. So those are not really going together, so I changed it later. Here I'm adding a glass that you can see. I will use a cool thing that you have in Fluent Materializer, and this is actually the gradient grunge. And this gradient grunge is actually gonna make those frost sides on the glass. So that's a cool effect that you can use with the roughness of the glass, and then you can combine them and get this result. So that's a cool trick. Then I'm adding a little bit more lights. You will notice that I have only lights that are white in the first place. I also use a black and white HDRI. And the reason for that is that you want a neutral light first, and then start tweaking the color and the temperature of the light. Here I'm adding a little bit of warm lights on the side to have a global idea, but I'm not going too deep into those color configuration. So here I went back and actually changed the orange parts. There were like too many parts orange in the scene, and the orange is actually for the main and important part of it. So if you add too many bright colors in the scene, it will not put the eye on the right object, and you will distract the viewer of the image. I also added a little bit of blue in some parts of the scene to add some details. So here is the decal part. I'm using DECALMachine to add some decals, and those decals I've made them myself. I will release in a few weeks, I think, a pack with the info decals that you can use in your sci-fi scene. And here I place them a little bit everywhere. Decals are really cool to add some details really quickly. Here I'm adding a grid on the door, and this is just simple, few clicks and it's on. And then I will add some labeling on the side to guide the user. You always have to think what is your scene and where is your scene compared to the environment around it. So as you may see on the door, I have a main bridge inscription, and then on the side I have a residential with an arrow, meaning that behind the camera there is the residential part, and behind the door there is the main bridge of the ship. So you always have to indicate where the scene is compared to what is around the scene. So that's very important. And you can do it pretty much easily with all the labeling and info decals that you can add on the wall or on the object, and this will give clues to the viewer to see where you are in your environment. So like I did with the painting, I actually go with the big decals, and then I go with the smaller decals, and this approach is pretty cool, and it actually allows you to make it a little bit more simpler than going a little bit everywhere and missing some parts. So here we have the main decals placed a little bit everywhere. You really want to go homogeneously and place them in a place that you don't have that many details, and then go with small inscriptions and add details a little bit everywhere. It is important to render your scene from time to time to have a global view of what it looks like from the camera point of view, and then you can keep going and add more details. So again here, adding more details to the floor. As you can see on the floor and stripes, I actually add a grunge to make it a little bit like the paint went away, and because it is on the ground and you are stepping on it, so it's a little bit, the paint is gone a little bit, you can use it. So yeah, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoy, and see you on the next one.